You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 8687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
We believe in the country called the USA, and we fly our flag cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can, we're Americans.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in for another Wednesday night. We got a great show tonight. I'm excited. Politabunny was just on the air, rocking it back after about a 2-year absence with Austin Peterson. I hope you're still hanging around because we, like I said, have a very special show tonight. Our guests are already online, so we're going to dive straight in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have tonight Misfit Politics with us. And I'm going to just turn you guys loose for a second, go around the horn so everybody can hear your voice and know who you are. Just a quick introduction, if you would, please.
Okay, I'll start. I am J.R. Homestead, also known as Jen. So that's me with a little bit slight Texas accent over here.
We can handle that.
Hey, everybody, I'll top your Texas accent with my Scotty accent. It's Mo.
Best Scotty accent I've ever heard.
Hey.
Thank you.
And I'm Dan, so I have the New England accent, so you'll hear me just fine.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And did I hear right? We got Rex with us too?
Rex. Some people call me Rex. My mother called me Chris, but I'll answer to either one. I don't have an accent.
You don't have an accent. So without spilling the beans on Rex, because Rex and I are kind of neighbors. We probably live a half hour apart from each other. If what's on his Twitter bio is the truth. That is. How do you not have an accent, sir? You're not from here?
I am. I'm from South Alabama. But
wow.
I don't know. I never really had much of an accent, and I've been around a lot of people and around the world and known a lot of people, so I picked up things here and there.
I understand. I'm not from here originally, but I have been here. I moved here in 1983, graduated high school in 85, left for the military for 10 years, and came back and have been back ever since. So.
Well, you don't see me picking up an accent.
All good stuff. But, yeah, well, everybody tells me I sound like I'm from the Midwest, but I don't know. Whatever. I've been here long enough now. I just call myself Southern, and that's how I leave it. But anyway, this show is about you guys. We're going to take this wherever you guys want to go because, quite frankly, I'm just impressed with Misfit Politics. I like the concept. I like the execution. I like everything about what you guys do. So really, I want to make more people aware because, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way. I mean, you guys deserve some heap and praise for what you guys pull off. You are woefully underfollowed, and I hope that this helps rectify that in at least some small way.
So G, it's Mo. I want to say that the reason why we are what we are is because of Jen. So she should be the one to tell the story. She's the visionary who brought the whole thing together.
Well, let's hear it. How did this come together?
Okay, so it started very just. It wasn't meant to be anything at all, actually. Back when Twitter decided that they opened up to where you could have group DMs. I was invited to a few, and some were just a smorgasbord of people, and a lot of people I didn't know, and all sorts of things like that. And I went, there is kind of a regular group of people that I talk to quite often on Twitter, and a lot of times it's like we're politically aligned, of course, but we also debate, and that's fun. And then we also have a lot of fun in just silly threads with each other with memes and other things. And I just kind of felt like there was a certain group of people that I continuously found myself in threads on Twitter with. So one day I was just like, screw it. And I created a DM, and I added all these people in. And then I told people, hey, it's a group DM, no big deal. Like, if you don't want to be here, leave. And there were quite a few that left. And then there were some ones that stayed. And I had just, from the very beginning, I named it Misfits, because I felt like it was so many people from different ages, demographics, everything was just so different about everybody. But there were just some common threads that made us all kind of friends. And eventually it kind of, after a few months, was kind of a core group. And we just started talking and chatting and becoming, better friends and sharing, tweets here and there. And it suddenly seemed like this was more than just some group DM. A lot of us had ideas, and I already knew just from the way that we would type out long things about, passionately on a topic, that people in there could write. And so I and a couple other people kind of tossed around the idea of this being a thing. And it started, kind of slowly, and it was absolutely, it still is 100% voluntary. And, we don't force anybody, there's no deadlines, and there's no, kick out this many pieces per time period or whatever. There's no topics given to anyone. It's all really organic, and it has just been so much fun. Eventually I made a website. I just used one of those free web builders at first. And then we started the Twitter account, and it just has kind of grown, and hopefully sometime we're going to add some more things to this. But I was just really lucky that there were quite a few people that all came together, kind of the right place, the right time. Everybody was excited about it when the ideas started being floated. And it turned into so much more than I ever thought it would be, honestly. And there are a lot of people that work hard behind the scenes to make it all happen. So it's been really, really cool. And I am so very proud of what Misfits has become, because it was completely unintentional. And it's just so amazing how we've bonded and then succeeded in sort of building a brand that people seem to like. And so we're really happy about that.
Well, not only do we seem to like it, but some of us actually are a little semi-addicted to it, maybe, especially with Misfit Mischief. I really like to play, and the fact that you guys started doing this on Wednesdays now, while I'm on the air,
Mischief challenge. So that's like a precursor. It's like a warm up for Mischief.
Okay, so, I can take that because yeah. I take Mischief seriously. I intend going into it every week to win.
Well, we have to say that was Rascal's brainchild there. He threw that out to us, and at first it wasn't that big, and then we just started adding things to it. Now we brainstorm and we bounce ideas off each other, and we try to come up with themes, and sometimes they work, sometimes we don't, and we all kind of take turns. And now it's almost unmanageable now, how many responses we get and how many people take part, and the people are basically knocking down the door for us to get started around 8:30. So it's really unbelievable how much it is, and then we enjoy it. We really like it, and we like having interacting with people, and we like basically taking the edge off of politics and the edge off of political Twitter, which has been crazy, at least for the past 2 years, and giving people something to enjoy, because the whole week of politics and just, people can get dragged down and stuff. And we've always wanted to be something that was fun. We wanted to be something that people could relate to and that people could look forward to. not something that's going to, just be full of political lectures or any kind of, just political shaming or anything like that. We never wanted to be part of that at all. We wanted to be fun. We wanted to engage people, and that's kind of how we work to bring people together. And I think it's been pretty successful, and I know we're proud of that. But I do want to say that was Rascal who came up with that, and it's worked really well for us.
Yeah, so at Gentleman Rascal, and it was funny because it did come from one of those weeks where everything was just like a little too heavy. Everyone was super stressed out. You saw all your friends, people that are normally like allies on Twitter, fighting and cutting each other down. And he kind of was like, I just want to do something fun. And then we grew it into this whole other thing, which has just been really cool. And I wanted to hit on what Dan said real quick about wanting to have fun and wanting to be more than just, constant political badgering. If you read the site at all, you know that we've got some very, very smart people with very sharp takes on a lot of the current events that are happening in our political climate. And there's also a lot of wit there too. And so we've decided to try to, those pieces, we've had some very serious pieces, and I think they're very necessary. And then we've got things that, are more lighthearted and fun and snarky and witty and whatever that, a lot of people can relate to, which I think is all kind of, this is who we are as people, who we are as friends. And that's what we're trying to help. We hope that comes through in what we're doing with Misfit Politics.
Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but the notes that I have written down here, you guys have already just wiped them out, because I had all this stuff written down about how you guys all seem to have your unique talents and how you've come together and then blah, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to go through it all again because you guys have already covered it all. So mission accomplished, at least here anyway, and let's hope that catches on.
How we feel. I think that's we really, like, I think Jen nailed it. I mean, this is who we are, and you kind of struggled, or there's that temptation to go out there and kind of put on like a show of being either very snobby or very, self-righteous and very preachy and stuff. It wasn't us. That's not us. That's not how we operate. We enjoy the people that we talk to, even the ones that we debate with, the ones that we argue with. We can have a fierce debate with somebody, and then Friday night they're still going to play on Mischief, or they're still going to play the challenges that we have, because we that's how we engage. We don't want to put people off or make people feel a certain way, because we just want to come out as the relaxed and the fun people that we are. Not to say we don't have our disagreements inside, our little chat room there, but
we have a lot of those.
Well, that's perfectly normal, because that's what humans do. I mean, really, I usually take my show more hard politics, but every once in a blue moon, it's nice to step back and just have fun. And like having you guys on now, I had Bunny on a couple of weeks back, and just good fun shows, and people respond to it. They really do. And by the way, that first part when you started about snobby and arrogant and all that good, you weren't like verbally subtweeting somebody, were you?
No. Listen,
I'm not going to say any names. Don't worry, I'm not going to say any names.
That's just a generalization, of how things come across sometimes. So we won't go any farther than that. But
hey, look, I understand. I've had my brushes there too. Trust me.
Let me say this briefly, because when we launched our site in January, and we've been writing and stuff and doing stuff before, but when we launched the official site in January, we got some pushback, and we got some pushback from people who thought we weren't handling things the way that we should have been handling, and the way that we address politics, or the way that we address talking to people, and we weren't very, some people weren't very enthused about having a voice like ours out there, but, time and time again, we run into that sort of thing, but we push past it, and we continue to do well. So, I feel, we've got a long way to go, and we're just going to keep growing. So I feel pretty good about that. And I think the rest of the group does too. So that's all
Well,
I'll say.
and you guys should,
regarding that.
and that's the beauty of conservatives is that nobody owns the brand. Conservatives are
Correct.
allowed to think and act a little differently. We don't have to be lockstep like the other side of the aisle.
Like
think
Jen said,
yeah.
we do have a lot. We do have a lot of smart people, and then there's the snarky, asshole kind of guys like me. That's my job. To be the snark
Rex is the storyteller. Rex can tell you a story. I mean, he knows a lot of stuff. He is very smart, and he knows a lot of stuff. But, man, that guy can tell a story. You should listen to him.
I think I'd like to see maybe a segment called Story Time with Uncle Rex.
In our group, and he's fantastic. Yep.
He really is. The thing
you guys are only saying that because it's true.
So maybe in addition to Ask Alex, that's a great segment you guys do is Ask Alex. I like her take on things.
Alex is great. Alex is very, very creative in the way she answers those questions for sure. And she came up with that on her own and asked, we gave her some advice and stuff, but she was, she took it on herself and she does all that stuff herself. And she really, she definitely entertains, with her answers for sure.
Well, and I have to confess, she actually nuanced me into stupidity one day, and I kind of paid the price for it with her, but still like Alex. So
we all pay the price with Alex at some point.
Yes, she is not to be trifled with.
No, not at all. Woman. and I confessed, and I put my dunce hat on and went to the corner, and she acknowledged that. So.
Sounds about right. Mo, do you want to talk a little bit about, so we had some people that weren't initially in that original group, that core DM that I was talking about.
Right.
And we ended up adding some people a little bit later. And Mo was one of those people that we added that ended up being just a fantastic addition to the group. Do you want to talk about coming into it a little bit, Mo?
Yeah, I would love to. So
yes.
I started very late on Twitter. I started in, I think, a little over a year ago. I just kind of got on. I was tired of Facebook and really wanted to talk politics with like-minded people. And so I kind of jumped on Twitter. Actually, Iowa Hawk blog is the reason why I jumped on Twitter because I love him so much.
David,
and I couldn't get enough of his Twitter stuff. I met CDP kind of randomly. I don't know how I met him, but, we just kind of started exchanging some information on Twitter. And I love that guy. I mean, he is just unbelievably smart and such a great writer. And he's so erudite. He can come down like a sledgehammer, but he is just so, he has some really great, very intellectual kind of ideas about how things should be. So he and I just kind of clicked right off the bat, and I then kind of met Rebecca through mourning over Prince. Prince had died, and we were mourning over Prince with the Dave Chappelle show bit on Prince serving pancakes. So,
oh my God!
So she and I kind of started following each other, and meanwhile, I had started following. CDP had kind of introduced me to some other folks, including Rascal, and so I got a random DM. I think it was the first DM I ever got from Rebecca saying, "Hey, do you want to come join our DM? We have this group of people, and we think you'd fit in really well." And I was so excited. I mean, I can't even describe to you how excited I was about it, but I was so nervous. And they dumped me. I had never done a group DM before. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know these things existed. So they dumped, Anne kind of dropped me in there, and it's like a family. I mean, we are absolutely individuals. Each one of us has our own really unique kind of perspective on things, and we don't agree on a lot. There's a lot we disagree on. I mean, we're all conservatives, but we disagree on a lot of detailed policy issues, but we genuinely love each other. I mean, it's like a family in there, and it's the best thing ever because it's a place where we can go and really be who we are and talk about issues and kind of hash them out in ways that help us all become better kind of writers and better communicators of what our message is. So there's a lot of goofing off that goes on in the DM, and then there's a lot of really serious talk among a very large group of people who are very different from one another. And that to me is the best part about this. I have never met some of these people like some of these people before. I mean, amazing stories. Kayla has an amazing story of how, she's overcome adversity. Alex is unbelievable in my mind. I can't imagine coming from where she came from and being who she is. She's so smart and so kind of driven and on top of everything. Jen is like the social director. I've never met a person who can bring people together better than Jen can. It's amazing to me. I wish I had that talent. As I said, Rex is the storyteller. Rex has seen some stuff. You know what I mean? Rex has seen some stuff. He knows what he's talking about. And so he kind of comes at this from a very practical and really kind of experiential viewpoint that's so it's great, especially when it comes to matters of intelligence and and foreign affairs. Rascal's the idea man. I mean, he's just he just comes up with these things. I don't know where he gets them, but they're great. The mischief is kind of his biggest thing, but he's always coming up with these great ideas. Rebecca is literally the glue that holds us all together. She's so she's like I don't know. I wouldn't say mom
great.
because that doesn't really do her justice, but she's
right.
We all revolve around Rebecca. Mark, her husband, is just the funniest guy you'll ever meet. I mean, just hysterically funny, so funny, and he is always good for. I mean, when he talks, you just laugh. It's great. And I guess CDP is the other one who he just, like I said, he's our hardcore Federalist. He's a smart, funny guy. He loves bashing Bernie, which I love. It's my favorite thing. And he's the Federalist. And then finally, I think Dan is one of these guys who I love Dan because Dan is so devastating, but he's so quietly devastating. You know what I mean?
He's the utility infielder.
He's the ninja. And then we just added recently Musket, and you guys all know Musket. I mean, who doesn't love him? He's just smart, snarky, hilarious. He can write like a sledgehammer, and it's great. It's so much fun. And then, I think that's everybody. Sean.
I
you mentioned Sean.
Oh, yeah. So we paid as much because of employment and personal constraints, but he has been one since the very, very beginning. Sean, the producer, y'all might know him. He floats around.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
In the evening. Yes, and so he is one of us. He pops in and out, but he has a little bit different kind of schedule that he has to deal with. But, I didn't start this out as you have to write for us and you have to be a part of this website and you have to do this and you have to do that. So he was already part of the fam. I'm not kicking him out because he's not doing, that was something that I was approached about by some people that were confused about. Well, some people don't even write for the site. Why do you call them misfits? Well, because they are. It's more than just the writing. And that's, I think what we're all trying to say is that it's so much more than just any one thing you're putting your finger on. And it really did all happen so naturally. So, so Sean is one of our other resident misfits.
And super glad.
I like Sean. We engage a lot too. Hey guys, we're hitting the bottom of the hour here.
Daryl's number one.
We need to burn a commercial break real quick. Can you guys hang on and stay with me?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Rick, spin them, buddy.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me, ain't that America?
Got Daryl.
Something to see, baby.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are still here with our friends from Misfit Politics. Yes, they are in the house. Thank you guys for staying over through the break and into the second half of the show. I think that Rex was nominated to be talking as we kick this off. So, Rex, entertain us, my friend.
Great.
Tell us something good.
Actually, before Rex starts, I really do have to do a special shout out to Daryl, Superglide 2009, who is a great guy. He actually has, he's also a misfit. He's written a few pieces for us, and he is the dad joke master. Like, I've never seen a guy tell better dad jokes than Daryl. The best. He's also contributed many of my Twitter handle names, which the favorite is Guantanamo Bay, which is hilarious, and I love him. He's great.
Yeah, we didn't leave you out, Daryl. We just ran out of time before the break, really, truly. Yeah, that's what it was. All right, so now that we've got the shout out to Daryl done, it's story time with Uncle Rex.
Let me see. I don't have any news stories. I'll tell you, when Jen DM'd me one day about this, and it was 3 March 2016. I can tell you that because I looked at the thing today. That DM is still there, so I went and looked at the top of it. And I didn't even, like, who was it? Mo, I think, said that I didn't even know that it was possible to be in a DM with more than one person at a time when Jen asked me. And so there was a little confusion. And apparently I had some internet problems at the time, according to the DM. But like Jen was describing, it was just a group DM. I'm like, cool, we'll hang out just privately among these people that we all like. Well, some people didn't end up liking it so much and they left, but that's cool, it happens. And
it does.
But then we started building the thing, and it was like, okay, we're going to do a blog and all this stuff. And one of the coolest things about how it's turned out is, like, I've never been shot down when I write something. I'd like to put this up if anybody doesn't agree with it. Let me know. And no one ever says, no, man, that's shit. We can't be having that crap on our site. And it's the same for everybody.
No.
Jim was describing earlier. We just write whatever we want to write. Now, I'm sure if somebody was trying to be a smart ass, and write something like in the style of Sally Cohn or something, they'd be like, all right, dude, that's funny. Yeah, correct. Too bad you wasted time on it. But yeah, I don't really write politics.
Don't alliterate.
I write issue stuff, but mostly I just write joke crap. And I like it, and they still let me publish it, so that's cool.
And Rick's memoir is on the site, by the way. You can read that if you go to misfitspolitics.com or go to the Twitter site and go to the website. Rex's memoir is on there. It's great stuff. Those are where you'll find. Yeah, you'll find all the stories right there. So it's good stuff.
That is fantastic.
I wanted to say real quick about the content. That was one of the ideas too. Like, so many places have so many rules, and I get why. And maybe if somehow this thing became something that was harder to control because it had grown so much, then maybe we would have to implement something like that too. But the way in which we started this, that wasn't the idea. And it was to not limit people and not to put parameters on them. And we have a fantastic editor in Rebecca who gets paid to edit for real. So it's not just like, oh, we decided to call someone an editor. She is a legit editor. And she does an amazing job. But we have always said, like, we are not here. We will give suggestions if something's not working quite right, or it doesn't quite sound right, or we think you're not getting the point across that you want, or something like that. But we're not here to edit content. We're here to edit, more of the technical aspects of it, which is what she does so well. And so even with our guest contributors, we'll have people that will send us stuff. We're a little bit more picky about some of those things for obvious reasons. But
sure.
we welcome contributions. We welcome in all kinds. We just published a fantastic short story by Mike Out Yonder. I don't know if y'all know him.
Absolutely. No, Mike, he's probably listening right now.
He's amazing. And he wrote this awesome short story and, asked if we would publish it. And it was amazing. So of course we will. We've got various sections on our site. We even have a recipe section because some of us are so into that kind of thing. And we're all looking on how to, find new recipes and stuff that's family friendly, budget friendly, that kind of thing. In fact, we've got to post one tonight. And then we have this, what we call miscellaneous musings, where it could be something like just a story or something on completely off topic, like a hobby. And we've just been really lucky in who we've gotten to contribute. There's been all sorts of different people. We've got a Democrat contributing. We've got Chad Felix Green contributing. I mean, we've got several Democrats actually, or at least left leaners contributing. And it's just been really, really great. So our point isn't to try to fit people into some mold to to funnel through the site. We really like that it's so vast and different.
Well, that's fantastic. I
really
like that idea.
That. What's that, Rick?
I was saying I just like the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I think that's what Dan was kind of hitting on earlier, is like not having some sort of like set thing where you can be a little bit, you can come off as being a little bit snooty and snobby because you're like, oh, that doesn't fit within the confines of our little group and what our narrow view of this is, and now it all has to fit into here, and it can't be pro-Trump, but it can't be anti-Trump, but it can't be, it can't be on this side, but we like it if it's on that side, and we don't like it from that, there's none of that, because all of us come from it so differently. Like Mo said before, we all come from a variety of backgrounds and personal experiences that have shaped how we arrived at our own conservative view. So,
right.
and then our migrants who have other varying views.
And the thing that's, I think what makes it so, the name is perfect for us because of that. And that's why it's so great that we don't edit the content. We want people's voices to be heard. We want to hear unique voices. We want to hear people coming at these issues from a lot of different angles, because it helps everyone think about things. You might not agree, but it helps you think. This is kind of the essence, in my mind, this is the essence of free speech, speaking, exchanging ideas, being rational and civil about it, and really listening to other people's viewpoints. And that's why I think it's so great that we don't have to impose any sort of requirements on what you write or what perspective you write from or what position you take. We want to hear a lot of different voices, and we want to publish a lot of different voices because it helps. It helps everyone to think about things, and it helps open people's minds, and it's a great thing. I think it's great.
I think it is too, and quite frankly, I'm gonna actually drop something in y'all's lap here in not just a little while, but it'll take me some time to put this together. But I have been fumbling, and just for a little background pitch on this real quick, some of you guys already know this because we've talked previously, and you've heard me say this, but I am a multiracial, technically half white, and I have been toying with a piece that I've been writing little bits and pieces on as I go on immigration. And for what it's worth, as a half white, I think that Trump dropped the ball on immigration with his travel ban. I think he should have halted all immigration with 3 exceptions. And those exceptions would be the adoption of a minor child, the allowance of a foreign worker into the United States that possesses skills that no U.S. worker possesses, and a deeply vetted spousal visa. Those would be my only 3 exceptions, and I would halt all immigration on a temporary basis until the process was completely overhauled, a new process defined and put in place, and something that could be enforced, and those that had overstayed already were forced out.
So you writing a piece for us, G?
I am.
Yeah. Are you asking if we're going to take a look at that, or?
Hey, look. I'm just spitballing here.
So I don't want to turn you down.
I'm kind of a hardliner on it, but my childhood. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are you asking that? Do you want to know opinions on that, or are you looking for us to? What would you? You want us to respond to that? Or?
Hey, look, I'm just throwing it out there. You can shoot a hole in it if you like. My perspective is I grew up. Go ahead.
Hey, unlike most, when I'm as a conservative myself, and my issues towards immigration and how I look at immigration are probably annoy most conservatives because I'm not a hardline immigration person. I think we need immigration. I support immigration. I support people seeking freedom, and I am kind of a softie towards people who look towards establishing a new life here in the country. If we want to get rid of is a harsh word, but deport people who are here, illegally or whatever, and enforce the laws that we have on the books, I'm fine with that until we get that reform set that comes up with some kind of better system. But I don't believe in halting immigration and altogether and stopping people who seek out freedom. I don't think that's compatible with with my mindset. But that's where I stand. So naturally, I take a lot of heat. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what
I was just thinking, I'm a squish too.
Yeah, I'll take a little heat from conservatives on this, and that's okay. I understand other people's positions, and I respect other people's positions. But this is the kind of things that we kind of beat up each other about, which is fine. It's good, and we need to do that, and we need to hash these things out. But I willingly take heat on that, and that's where I stand regarding immigration.
Well, that's okay. I take heat too, because people tell me my stance is too hardline. But again, my background on that comes from having grown up in Miami in the late 60s and through the 70s, watching the actual formation of Little Havana, and watching those. It's not like it was, but if you've seen the movie Scarface, and granted, it's a movie, it's entertainment, it's exaggerated, I know, but to a level that actually did exist down there. And that was one of the reasons we left, was because...
And I think that's... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that's part of the problem that we have when we discuss immigration, because we have people who live in different regions of the country, who have different experiences with what's happening, and we don't really have a singular view, because you can't. Obviously an experience with somebody who lives way up in North Dakota and immigration is going to have a different perspective of things than somebody who's right along the border, or somebody who lives in New England like myself is going to have a different reaction than somebody who lives in or lived in Miami or Florida during that time. So we need to look at our cultures. We need to respect that. We all come from different places on this, and that's one thing that I think everybody's kind of reluctant to do, because when they hear a stance like yours, and they just assume, both people on the right and the left start to yell things like bigot or stuff like that, which isn't really fair. That's not an intellectual argument. That's really a cowardly way to deal with things, instead of saying, well, what happened? Where does your decision come from? So I understand your point of view, and I understand where you're coming from on that. And I think that's important that you get that out there, and I think you should write it. I think you should. And I think you should write it, and I think you should publish it with us, because we're the ones who are going to get it out there for you.
Well, I think I will then.
We make things happen, man. We move the world.
Did I make it? We make it happen. We'll make it happen.
I think Dan put it.
I want to hear your story. So, okay, I want you to tell me where you're coming from, so I have an accurate description and an accurate background of what your position is. And I think that's the biggest mistake we made probably for the past 2 decades, even longer, is not listening to people's stories. And that's where the Democrats went wrong in the last election, and that's where the Republicans went wrong in the last election. That's why we have Donald Trump as president right now, because whether he listened or whether he cared or not, he appeared to listen, and that's what people want. So we have to actually start listening, is what we have to do. So I want to hear your story.
Well, you're right. And to that point, something I've been saying a lot of lately is that, conservatives in general, they win arguments on the issues because we deal in facts more than feelings. Not to say that there aren't facts on the other side of the aisle, but we tend to win on the issues. Where conservatives lose is in messaging. And it's because there's so many conservatives trying to shut down people that they don't think are also conservatives.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with that. And a lot of people would probably say, even with my position on immigration, be like, well, you're not a real conservative then, because you don't want to shut everybody out, or you don't want to do this or that. And I don't think that's necessarily, that's really not the case. But when we have somebody like you on one end and somebody like me on the other end, we need to have that conversation and find somewhere where we can meet somewhere and make something happen, and we're unwilling to do that because we're so quick to just take that conservative label off you because of this reason or that reason, which isn't really fair.
Well, you know what? I think it's not fair, but I think it's fear. I mean, I get the sense that there's always fear from our side of the aisle that people are going to just squish on you. We've watched it happen, right? We've seen people just go squishy. And so anytime everybody kind of gets a little nervous whenever someone who has been a strong conservative voice has an opinion that's not as, that might be unpopular with conservatives, that, oh my God, he's going to the other side. That kind of seems to be the reaction on our side. And we shouldn't have that. We should be able to, we should be the ones who are able to have, yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. No kidding. We should be able to have a conversation about, a rational conversation about issues that gets to kind of the core and really and is an honest conversation. And that's the thing that we should not be turning into the left on this, where everything is just a reaction and everything is how you feel about what someone's saying. We need to have rational conversations and really hash through these issues and understand that we won't always agree with each other. Right?
Right. Well, it's a lot of shouting down, right? And that's what we always say about the left, is they just shout us down. They just call names and they shout louder and they push your head under the water and just say, no, and stick their fingers in the ears and no, I'm not going to listen to you, nanny, boo-boo. And it's started to happen a lot more on the right than I think before, especially with the split with Trump. And, some people are for Trump and they're super pro-Trump. Some people are severely anti-Trump to the point of irrationality on both ends. And then those of us left in the middle are just trying to keep our head above water because we are getting labels thrown at us from all sides. And you can't win for losing with almost the entire right. So I think it's important that we kind of take a breath and step back and consider how we are disagreeing and how we are continuing to debate and communicate, because like Mo said, we don't want to turn into the left, and it seems like it's going that way at lightning fast speed.
Unfortunately, true.
Very much so. And I think part of the mistakes that we make is that we just we fail to recognize these problems. I mean, a few months ago, maybe even longer, 6 months ago, I got in an argument with someone who said that the culture war doesn't exist. And I'm like, what? And that everybody was just, overreacting to these very legitimate hostilities towards conservatives, these legitimate hostilities towards Christians. And the idea was that people were just overreacting to it instead of admitting, look, there's actually a cultural conflict going on here. And we're not ready to, and we don't want to admit that that's happening. And that's part of the problem, because we have people who will say something and say, well, we don't want to hear what you have to say, because whatever, you're from this part of America, or you're this, and you're just, you're not really an elite or an intellectual or whatever. But you don't have to be a college graduate to know that the government is screwing you over, or the government is bullying you around, or the government is looking at Christians and saying, we're not going to, we're going to force you to bake cake, or we're going to do this here, or whatever, or we're going to take nuns to court. These things are very real. And, we have these certain people who want to pretend that they're imaginary, and that these things aren't really happening. But people are facing this stuff, so... Again, that's
what's even scarier than the cake, though.
That we need to be having. So
yeah. Well, what's even scarier than the cake are these people out there defending the shooting of Steve Scalise and the other congressmen and the aides. They're actually defending shooting congressmen.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And actually, this is interesting, and I think Mo was just going to say it, but Mo and I wrote a piece on this. On two different points of view, on rhetoric of the left and such, and because we were talking in a DM about what matters and what doesn't matter. So if you have a time, people should go look that up and read it. It's very interesting. But Mo should talk about it.
We need to do more of those. We did our very first point counterpoint kind of pieces, and it it was really a very fun intellectual exercise for Dan and I. And I hope that it was also fun for people who read it. It would be very, I think it's a good way to kind of hash out issues again. My whole thing is really talking rationally with people about substantive issues instead of flinging allegations and kind of screeching at each other and calling each other names. And so these are, I think, a good way of kind of presenting ways of rationally thinking about issues.
Absolutely.
That one was fun to write.
I couldn't agree more. And this is why you guys, whatever the formula is, it works. So stick with it, because I'm going to tell you, I enjoy the hell out of y'all's stuff.
Thank you so much. We really enjoy doing it. It is a labor of love.
Well, guys.
Now, after all this seriousness, it's the GIF challenge coming up.
Hey,
that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday
soon.
night, right? I'll be wore out. I'm playing golf all day Friday, but I'm going to be in for it. I'll be home and I'll be ready for it.
Oh, gee, you're the best.
Oh, no, the GIF challenge is next.
Thanks for having us on.
Hey, look, before we wrap this up real quick, tell everybody where they can find you guys at so we can make sure to get y'all some bumps out of this.
Okay. So you can come follow us over on Twitter at Misfit Politics. And then also we've got our website, misfitspolitics.com. And we are on Facebook. That's going a little slow. And as we all know, Facebook now puts up so many barriers and for being able to see content that's like a group content now. But you can find us over there too. We're sharing articles there. And tonight, right after this, we have the Misfit Gift Challenge. So yeah, everybody get your gifts ready and join the fun.
Get ready. Okay, so while you're listening to Jesse's POV and then The Right Side and then America Off the Rails for the rest of the night here on KLRN Radio, have your gifts ready to take part in the gift challenge with Misfit Politics. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. This has been a blast, and I'm sure it has been a blast for everybody listening, and they get to know you guys a little better. And hopefully, like I said, increase your brand awareness out there, because I think you guys got a winning combination, and I really like to see it grow for you.
Yeah,
Thank you
so
much,
Thanks for
Steve.
having us on. We look forward to that piece you're writing, bud.
Absolutely. You count on that.
Have it in our office by Monday at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, guys, that's a wrap here tonight. Again, thanks to Misfit Politics for joining me live on the air. Like I said, Jesse's POV is next, followed by The Right Side with Dan Wright, and then America Off the Rails with Rowdy Rick. I'm the Grouch. I won't be with you next week, 4th of July week. I am taking vacation. So I will see you in 2 weeks with Kimberly Ross from Red State. We're going to be doing a big pro-life show on July 12th. Thank you. We'll see you then. God bless and good night.